whatever next thing we said we could catch up on. I'm gonna follow up with that and see if I can do, staffing meetings. And I got their business card and I'm putting them into,
That's fine. How many people did you meet yesterday?
I only got 10 business cards. I met more than that though. So my goal is the next
Okay,
meeting. I
so
go
that'll
to-
be the challenge.
Right,
All teasing aside.
Yeah.
The problem with most people when they try to do this is
Yeah.
it's not a big enough population. So, oh my God. So they have a goal that's here, but their population's here. So it's not the right thing to do. It's that you're not touching enough people to have a chance. And this is why you have to know what this is. Well, what's the goal?
Me were, I feel, some people that have some pull in the city. So I met the city of Canton city manager who does most of the planning. I met the Canton chief of police, the lieutenant governor.
now now you have to go down the right side to
Right.
build awareness and credibility with them.
Right.
But it has to be enough people.
Yes.
Okay, so like, I'm not against what you're being pulled towards. I'm not. And I could see it working for you.
Mhm.
Here's your danger.
Mhm.
First of all, you've got to have a goal. Otherwise, you don't know how many people it needs to be.
Right.
So this is where agents get sideways on this.
Yeah.
But this is what I want to do, and this is who I want to do it with. And well, what are you trying to accomplish? Well, whatever that leads to. Like, well, what if that doesn't lead to enough to make it worth your time and effort? Well, it will. Like, how do you know that?
I don't.
Right.
know that.
So
Okay,
you've got to
good.
have, the goal is your goal. It's not mine. I don't really care.
Right.
Hopefully, you've never heard me weigh in on what somebody's goal should be. I don't give a shit. It could be 1. If it's 0, I don't really get why you're here taking up air.
No.
But if it's 1 or if it's 100, I could care less.
Sure.
It's your life. It doesn't influence mine.
Right.
Right. But the goal and the number of people and actions, they better mirror each other.
Yeah.
Right. That's the danger zone.
Right.
Okay. As long as you're aware of it.
Where I will sit and think about what I want that goal to look like.
That's a husband conversation too. Well, it might be a children conversation too. I mean, like, you're all sharing the same house. You better all have the same goals.
Right.
Right. As we're waiting to get started, I constantly, all the time, get reminded of the old saying, when things don't make sense, somebody complete that for me. When things don't make sense, ... What? You don't have all the information. Uh-huh. Well, you go, well, I wonder why this person did that or acted that way or whatever it is. It doesn't make any sense. The answer to that in your personal life and in your business is, oh, you don't have all the information. When the other shoe drops, and it always does, and somebody says, well, did you know this? And you go, oh, well, now it makes sense. I mean, I don't like it. I feel terrible for them, but now I get it. Right. So too often we blame ourselves. Right. Like, or we'll say things like, well, I guess I'm just not smart enough to figure it out, to understand. No, they haven't told you the whole story. Those of you with children, especially teenagers, you fully get this. He was a teenager at one time, wasn't he? Uh-huh. You know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? Uh-huh. That doesn't make any sense. I know, Mom, you're not getting the whole story. If I told you the whole story, it'd make sense, and then you'd be really mad. Uh-huh. Okay, we got another minute. So, who couldn't get out of bed this morning? Let's find out. Do I tease them too much or not enough?
No, it's just enough.
It's just right? It's not enough? Okay. Let's see what they say. Cecilia, do I tease you too much or not enough?
Probably not enough.
Probably not enough. Oh, okay. Well, damn. I'm getting soft. We need to raise the game. She'd shoot me. I don't tease people toting guns that I know are toting guns. You might be toting one. I just don't know it. And just to show like how much that's actually true, I'm not going to tell you who because I don't want you to take them out first. But I have one of our paid staff people that has a gun safe right at their kneecap and with a loaded, ready to fire, a one in the chamber gun. Uh-huh. And trained to use it. Uh-huh. And they have explicit instructions. When somebody goes postal on us around here, you got to take them out. And that might make you feel uncomfortable. But you know what makes me feel more uncomfortable than that? Having somebody come in the front door of our office with a weapon and us trying to fight them off with a butter knife or something. Like that's uncomfortable. Why do I think, and if you're aware of somebody else, tell me, because I'd be fascinated. But I think we're the only real estate office in the world that keeps their doors locked 24/7. I had somebody, one of my friends came over, he goes, "You're a real estate company. You can't keep your doors locked." I'm like, "I can watch. We do." He's like, "But what if people don't walk into our office anymore? If you walk into our office, you're not supposed to be here." Oh my God, we might have lost a renter. Oh my God. That might have cost us like lunch money one day. Okay, what's on y'all's mind? What's going on out there? I don't want unless you're volunteering. What's on? You always got something.
So,
Lots of demons floating around up there. Uh-huh. New construction preferred lender.
where they, on the side, where it's help your client, that's their client, and they're not going to them because they love them. They
Right.
go to them because they're getting $10,000.
Right.
So, and it's like,
So what's your problem? The lender's not doing a great job with the home buyer?
no. What is she saying? Did you explain? And it's in Spanish, both, everybody.
Right.
And it's like, oh, I thought if I chose the Spanish one, I wouldn't have to be
Right.
trying to connect them or to make them.
So what do you
understand.
do when it's a builder, your home buyer is kind of forced or enticed into using the builder's on-site lender? And then that lender, for whatever reason, isn't doing a very good job. Well, you don't do anything. Well, your customer consciously chose money over quality. Uh-huh. Well, I don't know. Can you give me an example of where you get a sharp price discount and great service and a great product? I'm sorry. Hey, I'm actually not that cheap. I'll just wait till you sell something to collect all my money. But I'm not trying to sell cheap. Any one of you can leave here today and go to another company and get a better deal. And you all know you can, and they're all calling. You're not here because I was the Lacey, welcome back. How you doing? Okay, how'd you get here? You drove?
I avoided highways, which we're
Okay.
not ready for you.
I special place in what little heart I have. Just somebody messing with my eyes that just creeps me out to no end. And so like, I mean, I don't care about Claire sick. Who gives a shit?
Nobody.
That's right. Nobody cares. That's right. Look, your people took money over service and quality. So now they're going to pay, and you're going to pay the price for it. But there was probably no way around that. The builders in this market, this will change. Like, let's just run through the room real quick. And on the Zoom, if you can, Cecilia, not while you're driving, but like, who else is on here this morning? Activate your cameras if you can, please. Aldo, roll over in bed, Aldo, and type in, tell me how long you've been in the business. How long?
1 year first.
An agent for 3 months.
Okay. And how about on the Zoom here? 1 year, CC. Okay, good. Aldo, he fell back asleep. He can't weigh in. Oh, there he is. Welcome back to the conversation. 2 years. Okay. This is all y'all know. I have to remind myself, like, this is a good reminder to me. This is all y'all know. You only know this kind of market. Now, some of you that have been around for 4 years or longer. So Lacey, you said 7. Okay, so you went through the COVID bullshit and then the post-COVID craziness. Okay, like y'all just haven't been around long enough to have gone through different marketplaces. If you make it, and a lot of you won't. I mean, this group, the percentage of success might be higher. I mean, not for these people that can't, not for them, not for the Zoomers. Y'all are dead, y'all are dead, man. But a lot of us aren't going to make it because transactional volume is so restricted. So like this is my 37th year. And what I can tell you, the perspective I get after 37 years is I've been through all kinds of different markets. I've been through red hot seller markets like 2021. I've been through that before. I've been through just the opposite of that, like 1992, when I had 41 listings on the market and none of them even had a showing for weeks. Way too many homes on the market, not enough buyers. We weren't getting offers. We weren't even getting showings. And then that crazy shit of 08 would just scare the living daylights out of it. And everybody stopped selling homes today. Not like some gradual decline, like boom, it just stopped. I've been through all that. You haven't. So right now you have a seller controlled marketplace because we don't have enough inventory on the market. And interesting enough, we still have pretty strong home buyer activity. More home buyer activity than we actually have properties on the market. So that creates a very seller controlled marketplace. So builders get away with shit like that.
So, she tells me the loan officer, like, oh, this client, the first time I spoke to her, oh yeah, this is the 4th time I bumped into him. He's been working with other realtors, which I don't mind. I knew about it. And then yesterday when she wasn't being so nice to him, he calls me and said, I think this lady is mad because with the other realtor, she was getting something, she was getting money. I'm like, well,
Oh, he doesn't
we don't
know that.
know,
He's
we
making.
don't know that, but then I used the strategy. He was emotional.
Okay.
When you told me about, or told us about like, hey, it's okay for you to be emotional. I understand your frustration. I understand it's $4,000 on the line because he could.
Okay, we have to move along or Aldo's going to fall asleep again.
And well, that's the other way.
Okay, so you're in a very seller controlled marketplace right now. So sellers are a little I think builders or sellers and they're calling the shots right now. Listing agents, what a bunch of arrogant SOBs they can be. Because they're full of themselves right now, but they're in control. And if you're working on the buyer side, you're not in control. Most of the time, you're not in control and you're having to kiss everybody's ass to get your offer accepted and get it to closing. Yeah, this too will change. It will. Hang around. I don't know when, but you'll wake up one morning and it'll go, oh, you ain't so cocky now, are you, Mr. Builder? No, they become very appeasing. So I'll give you an example. I used this example before. My mom has a very nice, very expensive mink coat that John Weiland gave me. I wasn't married at the time, so what am I going to do with the mink coat? So I give it to my mom. My mom never worn it because she thinks somebody's going to throw blood on her. So it's just been in a cold storage unit since like the early 90s. Never been worn. I don't care. What was I going to do with it? Why did John Weiland Homes give me a $15,000 mink coat? They need me to bring my buyers. The more homes I sold, I saw people get trips to Europe, diamonds. I saw an agent win a car, all kinds of stuff. Y'all may not remember this company. Household Finance was like it's kind of a payday lender, but they would have offices, little stores like in a strip center like this, and you would go in and get home equity lines. Well, they had foreclosures. I took Jane on the worst trip of our lives when we were dating. The fact that she still marries me is a testament to how hot I really am. We went on a cruise that I won. I won the cruise for selling two or three of their properties. We went on a cruise to Ensenada, Mexico. Does anybody know where Ensenada, Mexico is? Oh, it's south of the border. It's like south of it's over on the west coast. It's like the Baja region. To describe to you how freaking horrible this was, I can't. Needless to say, I'll just give you one example. So Ensenada is a shithole. Okay. So they drop us off in this little coastal town called Ensenada. Uh-huh. And you walk around this shithole of a town that has no electricity, and people are going, they have restaurants, they have no electricity, but they have, now I ain't going in there. Yeah, I don't know, but like, okay, why did they send me on this exotic sounding cruise? To sell, to bring my buyers to their properties. So I've been through all kinds of markets like that where sellers become very appeasing, very appeasing. So this whole the answer to your question is no, it sucks to be on the buyer side right now. And you and your buyer are going to kiss their ass and beg and plead and cajole them into getting this to a closing table. No, she don't have to be shit because she can replace your buyer like that. She has no obligation to you or to your buyer. None, zero. And you don't like it. I wouldn't either. And there's nothing you can do about it except go find another house. That's the answer to it. Why? It's a seller controlled marketplace. And the seller's getting something from that lender. And the seller wants to control the transaction. You don't control the lender. You don't control the transaction. And the seller's in control. And if you don't like it, don't buy the house. That's their attitude. And they get away with that right now. And that sucks. It's supposed to suck. You're not supposed to like it. You grind it out. You're going to wake up one morning, probably in the not too distant future, and the whole dynamic's going to have shifted. And watch, this builder's they're going to take you out of town for a 3-day road trip. They're going to buy you lunch. They're going to send cookies to your office, and you'll come in and there'll be gift baskets on your desk. I've seen all that too. Right now, they ain't sending you shit. Why? They replace your buyer like that. You will behave and you will do what we tell you to do the way we tell you to do it, or you can go buy another house, Buster. And you and your buyer don't like that. I get it. But that's how it is right now. Well, hang around. It's like the weather. It'll change. But y'all haven't been around long enough to have seen different markets. So you think this is the way it is. No, it's just the way it is right now. It'll change. Something will happen. We'll have a world event. In 2019, all of you were alive in 2019, right? Yeah. Okay. I, I want the person to tell me that in May of 2019, you'd ever even heard the word COVID before. If somebody had tapped you on the shoulder and said, you know, we're going to have a worldwide pandemic that's going to shut down economies all over the world and totally disrupt the financial infrastructure of the entire world, and we're going to have that in like 6 or 7 months. And then your government's going to print $6 trillion to artificially stimulate the economy, and they're going to have a hard time giving away that much money. And you go, really? It's hard to give away $6 trillion? It's apparently really hard. And then about 3 years later, you're going to have to pay it all back. Well, did I get all 6 trillion? No, you just got a little bitty check, like $600, maybe 1,000, but you get to pay it all back. Why? Through taxes? No, through rampant inflation that comes when you print $6 trillion and give it away to everybody. Right. And then everybody acts shocked. Like, what's going on? Why is inflation? Why isn't it coming down? And why are these interest rates so high? That's the deal with the devil we all made. Uh-huh. They printed $6 trillion and gave it away. I got me some of that. That's a part of COVID I kind of liked. Like, can we get some more COVID? I'm joking. I'm joking. If anybody got sick or no, so I'm joking. And it's probably not something you joke about. What are we doing right now? You're paying the piper. I guess it's hard to get elected to something if you go on TV and say that. So you make it sound like it's mysterious and it's somebody else's fault. It's the other guy's fault. Yeah, they all wanted to give us the money and we gladly took it. Uh-huh. And maybe that was the right thing to do, but there's a price to pay and you're paying the price. You and your home buyer right now are paying the price for it. Interest rates are so high, sellers can't put their homes up for sale. They could, but they don't want to. They're just going to hunker down and write it out. And so there's a shortage of available homes for sale, and your buyer is paying the price. What's the price? Higher home prices, higher interest rates, and lack of control and decision making. You should tell them that. Like, yeah, it sucks, but this is the world order right now. If you don't like it, go change the world's economy. Right. I know. And like, see, the builder gets away with that shit too. I'm surprised it's only $4,000. Right. They could have just about said anything and the buyer wouldn't have had a choice because the 30,000. There you go. I know. Well, hey, don't act like, no, the buyer doesn't get to act like they're a victim. No, don't like it. That's fine. Go buy another house. There aren't any other homes that I want. Well, then shut up, I guess. You're going to kiss our ass and do what we say. I don't like it. Nobody cares if you like it or not. Now, that's the truth. That's what's going on. There's economics 101, about as simple as it can get. We are paying the price for the free money we got 4 years ago. I'm not here to say that we shouldn't have done that. I don't really know. I mean, we had a pretty big problem 4 years ago. Anybody with us? Were any of you with us 4 years ago? Were any of y'all with us 4 years ago? Then I'm going to tell you something. You might get a real chuckle out of this. So you remember when, May of 2020, like we're in the heart of it, right? And nobody wants to leave their house and everybody's scared. And you might have known people or you might have gotten really sick. And I'm not making light of that at all. I'm not. I mean, maybe I am, but what else can you do? So Dwayne and I are the only people here. And I mean, we had to listen to it from our wives. You can't go in. I'm like, I'm going in. We got to keep moving forward. So, you know what I did? I made a decision that this was going to be the cleanest place on the planet. And it was. Like, we bought everything. We bought this misting machine that kills germs. Well, not really, but it looked really cool. Like, it was impressive looking. I don't think it really did shit, but we would make videos of me going around the office. And my whole point was, wherever you are right now, this place is safer. So come to work because it's the cleanest place in Atlanta. I made a video where right behind Christina's desk, I licked the floor. In May of 2020, in the heart of COVID, I licked the floor twice and said, this place is so clean, I'll lick the floor. It was awesome. It made everybody want to throw up. But you talk to people who were here there, they still remember that. Like, that was disgusting. The highest traffic place in the whole building. Right, I licked it. Nothing happened to me. I'm fine. I never got sick. Maybe the misting machine worked after all. We still have it somewhere. I ought to pull it out just as the reminder. Remember when we did this? All these gymnastics we went through that I didn't even believe in. It's all show. It's not what's real, it's what you believe. If you believe this is the cleanest place in Atlanta, then it is. Not really. Yeah, it sucks to be on the buyer side right now. Sorry. What are you going to do about it? You're probably not going to do shit about it. You're going to kiss this lender's ass and beg and plead and cajole her and be really sweet and grind it through. And that's your role, and try to help your customer when they get emotional. They will. It's okay for them to get emotional. It's their life. It's not our life. It's not your house. You have it is okay for you to get emotional because it is your income. It's not okay for you to display the emotions ever in front of the customer. You can walk out the back door and scream your head off. Some of us might come join you, but you don't, with the customer, you go, I know, I understand. Can I make a suggestion? Let's keep our eye on the ball. Let's don't worry about this. I'm here to help you. Let's just grind through it. I know it's not ideal, but remember, you're getting a pretty good financial package for doing that. It was to your benefit to do that. And this is the downside of it. Let's just do our best to work through it. You're the calm voice of reason and advice. Your job is to pat them on the head and say, it's going to be okay, little boy. It's going to be okay. Mommy's got you. That's our role. Somebody's got to be that way. The customer should be highly emotional, not us. I mean, you will be. To tell you not to be is crazy advice. You will be. You just can't display it. Maria, how old is your son right now? The terrible twos. Every mom in the room's going, you poor thing. Has he gotten into where he throws temper tantrums yet? Oh yeah. When he throws a temper tantrum, do you throw one too? Do you lay down on the floor and hold your breath and kick your legs and do you do that? You know, as real estate agents, we do that. When our customers throw a fit, we throw a fit with them. Well, you don't do that with your 2-year-old. Did your son have temper tantrums? Did you throw one with him?
No.
You should sometime. That would drinks herself into oblivion. Typical English. Bunch of alcoholics. It's okay. I mean, he's 2. 2-year-olds throw tantrums. Why do 2-year-olds throw tantrums? Watch, this is very relevant to Miguel's problem. Why do 2-year-olds throw tantrums? Right. That's true for your home buyer. So far, their brain's just not very developed. 2-year-olds don't have any power, and they're starting to realize it. And that really sucks to them because they want to have the power. They want you to do what they want you to do. And that's the only way, it's the only thing they have to get you to do it is to throw a tantrum. And what happens if you give in to the tantrum? You're in the grocery store, you're walking past the candy section, and your 2-year-old wants the candy, and you don't want to give it to him. And he throws a tantrum. And you give in to the tantrum and say, okay, just stop causing a scene. I'll get you the candy. Now, you've been through this. Your children are older. Your children are older. What would you tell her? And what's going to happen the next time the child wants something? And it's going to get progressively more intense, right? Because you just taught the child, oh, when I throw a tantrum, I get what I want. Moms, is that right? It's the only power a 2-year-old has. Okay. Why do real estate agents throw tantrums? Why does your buyer throw tantrums? Why do we get so mad? What are we getting so? This is just real estate. My God, on the scale of all the things to get really worked up about today, I don't think your real estate business is one of them. You got so many more issues in our lives. You don't have any power. You don't. And at some level inside you, you're recognizing that, and that sucks. You're just like her 2-year-old. I don't have any power in this situation. Mom's got all the power. She got the money. She's bigger than I am. She can punish me. So buyers in this marketplace have no power. Agents working with the buyers really don't have any power. So when you bump into when everybody starts getting emotional, they're just the 2-year-old wanting the candy bar. That's all they are. And that's all they can do is throw a tantrum. So how do you deal with it? Well, I think you deal with it the same way she should deal with her 2-year-old. You don't feed it. You don't give into it. You don't encourage it. I don't know. How did you deal with it when your children were having tantrums? Just let them cry themselves to sleep, so to speak? Okay.
I let them try it out, and eventually they learned that I either wouldn't get them what it was they wanted.
Lacey, how'd you deal with your kids when they were that age? You just, hey, there's an abandoned 2-year-old on aisle 6. How'd you deal with your daughter? Huh? You just leave the store? Jay, you're the clown mom. Okay. My wife tells the funniest story. She has 2 sisters, so they had 3 girls, and they're all like a year, 18 months apart. They just had a boom, 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 right? 3 girls. So she'll go, if we were at a restaurant and one of us started acting up, the other 2 would get in on it pretty quickly. My mom would snatch us up and drag us out of that restaurant, and we'd sit out in the car while my dad finished dinner. I'm like, why is your dad? She goes, no, they would alternate that. But one of them is, there's no warning. There's no trying to talk us out of it. There's no distracting us and entertaining us with something else. It is snatch our ass out of the chair and we go out and sit in the car and no more dinner. I'm like, wow, I can see her parents doing that. Like, we ain't playing this stuff. But I think parents all learn, you learned your way of dealing with that. Well, you're going to need to learn your way of dealing it with your home buyers and other agents because they just simply don't have any power. And the reason they're acting out is to just like a 2-year-old. I want what I want, and I don't have any other way of getting you to do it. And you, as like a parent, can just sit and observe and go, well, that's interesting. I mean, you don't try to well, other than Maria, you don't try to talk your 2-year-old out of the tantrum, reason with them. Have you seen parents that do this? Now, honey, we're going to have dinner in an hour. And like they're trying to have a logical reason conversation with a 2-year-old. All right. What else is going on with you? No, you're done. God, how can one agent have so many issues? What else going on with you? Problems? Okay, let's talk about Stephanie for a minute. Okay. So Stephanie wants to adjust her target audience to more of a networking strategy. Okay. Well, what's the problem with that? Well, let's ask the question first. So she gave me permission to do this. Okay. Is Stephanie a bitch? Betsy, she is not. Quit nodding your head. Yes. You didn't see it, but she's. Does she get along with people okay? No. Unapproachable? No. Relatively okay person, probably makes friends well, probably doesn't have lots of conflict. Okay, then she should be able to do this, right? Well, what would be the problem? Why would it not work for her? Okay, so this is what we did this week, right? So Stephanie, you've got to be enough people. Okay, so this is what we do. This is so when she tells me this morning, I don't know what you thought because I can't read hearts and minds. God, wouldn't that be good? My fear is that she falls into the real estate agent trap of networking. This is what my brain is screaming at me, like danger, danger, danger. In that, what kind of networking?
I'm joining Rotary, Chamber of Commerce.
That's not what you told me this morning. What did you tell me this morning?
Oh, through volunteering and service work and coaching my children.
Uh-huh. He wants to hang with her children. Uh-huh. And now this is the real estate agent death zone. Death zone. Because this is what I want, I'm going to imagine the ways that it will work. Or the way Stephanie likes to say it is, it's just a puzzle, and I just need to figure out the puzzle. And I'm like, oh, that's a bunch of bullshit. It's not just a matter of you figuring out how to get the world to do what you want the world to do. And if you just turn the cubes the right way, they'll all tumble into place and your little fantasy will just come true. And I say, you got lots of bullshit floating around up here and we need to talk. And I can see it in her eyes. I don't want you to call bullshit on my bullshit because I really like thinking this right now. I want to coach my kids' sports teams and I want a lot of real estate business to come from that. Can she get business? Because I mean, I say this, right? That your hobbies could be a great source of business.
Yeah.
Right. So why is that not true for her? Well, it could be true for her, but the real estate agent death zone is this. It's not enough people to throw off the level of business that you want. So I ask her, well, what's the goal? And she does not want to answer that. She gives me all kinds of bullshit, non-defined. I'm like, no, I want a number.
Right.
You do have a number, but she's worried that I'm going to prove that what she wants to do won't get her to that number. And it probably won't. Right. And that's the death zone. I get the little fantasy. So, well, Mike, you talk about your golf club all the time. I got 1,000 people. Do you have 1,000 people? Because if there's 1,000 kids on your daughter's track team, I'm all in with you.
There are over 600 in every meet on the weekend.
Yeah, but they're a different 600 all the time.
Where
Yeah. No, it's
Which is
a
why
over
then
big.
for
You ain't working
Rotary-
Cherokee County,
which is
girl.
why I joined Rotary and Chamber of Commerce for Cherokee County. Because people do business with people they know, like, and trust.
You ain't gonna get that many. Okay. There's a guy, who is this guy? Calls himself Mr. Woodstock.
Oh, DNS.
That's some bullshit. You ain't Mr. Nothing. You are not Mr. Whole damn town. That's crazy talk. You might be Mr. this neighborhood in this town or this elementary school in this town, but you ain't Mr. Woodstock. Like, that's too big.
One is this realtor's bill, and the other one is that Bobo.
Okay. And 15 years from now, you could be Mrs. Cherokee County. Right, in 15 years. If you can stay diligently consistent for the next decade, I'll bet on you. I won't bet that you'll stay diligently consistent for the next decade, but if you did, I would go, well, then you actually might become Mrs. Cherokee County. That would be possible 15 years from now. It's just too big. And by the way, you don't need to start that big unless your goal is that big. So I say, what's the goal? And I get all kinds of bullshit answers. My antenna are just going, do, warning, warning, warning. She doesn't either know what the goal is or she doesn't want to say it because she knows the goal and what she's doing are disconnected from each other and they can't be. So either change the goal or cut out the bullshit. It's got to be enough people.
Yeah.
It's got to be enough people. Okay. And then when it's enough people, and how do you know? We'll do some real quick math. 3%. 3% of the population is going to move each year. Okay. That gets you to a number. Now, you ain't getting all those. Okay. So at most, the most optimistic projection you could really have would be 20%. Of that number, of that 3%, on my best day, if I do everything every week down the right-hand column, I got a shot at maybe up to 20%. Okay, there you go. Now, is that number where you want to get to? And if it's not, then you don't have enough people. But I want that to be enough people. Nobody gives a shit. Right. And that's the danger zone. Because what we want it to be and what it can possibly be just by mathematics just aren't connected. So what's the number?
I'm happy if I sold 10 houses.
If you don't know you need me, oh, okay. Usually when he sticks his head in, it means I'm about to write a check is what it usually means. It never means I got a check. It always means I'm about to sign a check. Shit. It's like going to the mailbox. There's never anything good in there. That's why I want you to write handwritten notes and send me one. So there's something else in my mailbox except a freaking bill. If you don't know what you want your number to be, then how can you possibly know what to do every day and how much? How do you know how hard you need to work? Nobody gives a shit about happy. Like, this is business. Like, at what point is this not worth doing? Or like, because the next thing I'm going to say is, okay, what if you don't? What if you don't sell 10?
Then what?
No, what happens to you if you don't sell 10? Oh, well, boo-hoo. Now, see, that's not the answer. So she won't do 10. You won't do 10. I hear stuff like that. I hear stuff like, well, I'll have to try harder next year. I'm like, well, I can just save you the time right now. It ain't going to happen. You know what I want to hear? The fucking world's coming to an end. Life would not be worth living it would be intolerable. I have no options. Uh, I won't be out of debt. You don't have enough debt.
Well, I do.
No, you don't. Debt is a wonderful motivator. Now, I don't really want you to go create debt to get motivated. I prefer for you to get motivated without going into more debt. I really would. But whatever gets your little ass out of bed every morning, I don't care. And I know debt is a great motivator. When you have to, you will. I bet on that all day long. I would bet right now, everything I own, that if Stephanie has to do something by the end of the year, I bet that shit gets done. Mhm. What Stephanie would like to do, what would make her really happy, what would make the sun brighter and the grass greener every day, I ain't betting $1 on that shit. So what happens if you don't sell 10? Or whatever number you want to put on it. But if you just tell me you'll be disappointed, I go, well, I can save you the next 7 months. Just go home, sit by the pool. Because it's not that important to you. It'd be nice. You'd like it to happen. You can imagine all the fun things you could do if it happened, but this is too hard. Haven't you felt that yet? Like, this shit is hard. It looked easy, but it's not. It's not complicated. It's fill in the blank contracts, folks. Your kids could do it. But this stuff down the right side of the board, that shit's not easy. You're not going to want to. Well, why? Why are you going to do things you don't want to 60 days from now? You won't. I know. Because it's just not that important to you. It's like everything else. You're a fitness girl. I'd like to lose some weight. I'd like to get in shape. What would you say to me? Well, I do. I want to get in shape.
Okay, when are you gonna go to the gym?
I mean, I will.
You need to figure out when you're gonna start actually looking to.
I do want to.
No, you say you want to, but you don't, if you don't know when you're going to start going.
No, I want to.
Okay, well, the gym's not.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all I have to do is go to the gym tomorrow? Okay, I'll be there tomorrow. Uh-huh. Well, I don't know. I mean, if the kids have something going on Friday, I mean, I'll try. But if my husband's out of town or one of the kids is sick or, I've just got stuff going on, I mean, I might not be able to be there. 50 pounds.
When you
This year.
next 5 months or the next 12 months?
Five sounds better.
Oh, okay. Well, you need to be on a caloric deficit and going to the gym 3 to 5 days a week for every week for the next 5 months.
Okay, I'll try.
No.
You know what? I'm just going to go home today. You take my coaching sessions for me today because you just did it. That's pretty much all we did was just change the terms.
Right.
Instead of the gym, it's work. You hear that? It's work. That's it. Okay. So then you don't need me. You can just apply that to yourself. So why wouldn't I lose the weight? Well, that's the right answer. Thank you. All right, because I wouldn't have minded it happening to me, but like if it just needs to happen, I can't like take extraordinary effort.
Well, nothing.
This is so funny now because I don't know, just a little show of hands. Who was here a year ago? Okay. So remember me a year ago? I know I was still a hot little package, but so I've lost over 45 pounds in the last year, 4 waist sizes. Okay. So what people say to me every day of my life now? How'd you do that? God, you lost so much weight. How'd you do that? Like it's some fucking secret. I'm like, well, I cut my portions in half and stopped drinking my calories. I think they want me to tell them like the program I went on to do it. Yeah, what drug did you take? What program did you go on? Like there's like a game to this, right? I'm like, no, my problem was not necessarily what I ate, but how much I ate. I mean, for most Americans, our portion size is just out of control. We just eat way too much. I mean, if you go to Europe and you order dinner at a restaurant, it's like this, right? And ours is like this. So I just cut my portions in half and I stopped drinking calories. And that was it. Well, I already had an exercise program, but you can't exercise your way out of a bad diet. Right. You agree with that, Lacey? Can't exercise your way out of a bad diet. Right. My wife's run 17 marathons. I used to go with her to run her marathons. All these fat people running marathons. It's really shocking. You run a lot, right? All these fat people out there. I'm like, how is that person going to run 26 miles? And she goes, well, it's not the exercise the problem. You can't, even running marathons, you can't exercise your way out of a bad diet. You can't. So I cut the portions in half and I stopped drinking calories because those are just empty calories. That was the easy thing to give up. That by far the easiest part of the whole thing was to go, I'm just going to drink water. I'm going to cut out the soft drinks and the alcohol and because it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't make me not hungry unless I drink enough alcohol. It was that. But everybody wants it to be more than that. Yeah, but what else? Well, yeah, that was pretty much it. And when I did that, it just kind of fell off pretty quickly, like 6 to 8 pounds a month. Right. Stop eating so much. Boom. But they all want it to be like a secret that I did. Like I took one of those, my brother's on, Jay lost 80 pounds on one of the weight loss drugs because he had diabetes issues. My brother's lost like 70 pounds. Well, that's one way to do it. That shit's expensive. I think my brother's paying $700-800 a month for his shots, but he was going to die if he didn't do it. So, I mean, right. It's better than dying, I guess. But he's losing a lot of weight. I didn't do that. You don't have to do that. Just don't eat so much. Wasn't that hard? Yes. Didn't you?
I'm gonna forget when I first moved here, obviously probably the like portion size is like much smaller. I used to come and visit my husband here when we were doing long distance. And I ordered like 3 things off the menu. It was like, right, what are you doing? I'm like, what? I thought we're just gonna be, little things to share. And he was like, Claire, you cannot order that much food. I was like, watch me. And at this point, I was like, so in my 20s, I lost 110 pounds.
Wow.
And I know. And then as soon as I moved here, I fell pregnant. I gained 65 pounds. And then just the portion sizes here is just what kills me. So
Right.
losing.
It's different than where you came from.
Absolutely. Like
Right.
when the portion came, I was like, what on earth is going on here? This plate could feed a family of 3.
Yeah.
But of course, just seeing it, it's like, oh, this is fun, this is great. And then all of a sudden you've just ballooned up.
Hey,
Plate-wise.
walk over to Brooker Gill and have lunch today.
It's
Order a
not-
salad.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, that's like I could eat lunch all week on one of their salads.
Yeah.
People don't, they eat the whole damn thing and they think it's a salad. Yeah, but the salad's the dressing and all the shit they put on it to make it taste good so you'll eat it. Right. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. Dominique says, you look wonderful. You look good too, sweetie. Oh, that's right. I know. It's not nearly as funny like 6 months from now when I'm sitting in some hearing and they go, did you actually say that? Did you wink at Dominique? I don't remember doing that, but there it is on video. It's got to be important to you. You got to have a reason. It needs, like my brother's going to die. Okay. He's got a pretty good reason. It's happening. He's losing the weight. Jay was going to die. What no big deal there. I had to get in touch with my reason. You have to get in touch with your reason. Why are you working? What the hell are you doing here today? What is it that you want? And if that's not so important to you that you're willing to do this every day, then it probably won't happen. You need to get in touch with that. Why am I doing this? Why are you doing this? What happens if you don't? And it needs to be really important because my bet is pretty much with everybody, well, not these people, but with you, when it's important enough to you, you'll do it. You do other things that are important enough to you that are uncomfortable. Mhm. And when it's not that important, you'll be sitting here a year from now doing the same thing. And it'll keep that way. You know, they say all change comes from rock bottom.
Yeah.
I wish it wouldn't. That's my thing for you. I can walk around this office and it breaks my heart because I know that's a true statement. And I know that many of you aren't at rock bottom yet, even though you think you might be, you're not. And you aren't going to change until you get to rock bottom. I wish that wasn't true. But it was, I tell you, it was true for me. I wasn't selling anything. I was going nowhere fast until I got to rock bottom. And then everything changed within 2 weeks. Isn't that a shame that it has to get to that point? Yeah, it is. But I wish it wasn't, but like, okay. I wish your husband wasn't getting a promotion. I wish he wasn't.
I was at
'Cause-
rock bottom a year ago.
Because you can make twice as much money as he makes. Now, why do I believe that about you and you don't believe that about you? There's a question for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about it. Let's go to work.